Hi, and welcome to English-Fabule. Are you learning English? Great. Let's learn English with a very interesting story. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment. Let's get started.
Japan is known as a very safe country. If you leave your smartphone on a table in a Tokyo restaurant, it will likely stay there for many hours. Children can walk to school alone, even in big cities, because violent crime is very rare. Japan has one of the lowest murder rates in the world. For every 100,000 people, less than one person is killed. This is much lower than in many other countries, like the United States. This great safety makes Japanese people proud. It shows their society cares about order and respect. But this calm surface hides a problem. This safety comes from a special crime system. This system is very different from what most democracies believe about human rights. People who know this system call it hostage justice. Hostage justice means police often hold people for weeks or months. They do not let them out on bail. Police question them every day. Lawyers are often not allowed to be there. Police put pressure on people until they say they are guilty, even if they are not. Japan's courts find almost all arrested people guilty. This means 99.8%. Once someone is arrested in Japan, it is very hard for them to be found innocent. The world started to notice this system in 2018. This was when Carlos Ghosn was arrested. He was a leader for car companies like Nissan. He was held for 108 days. He was alone in a cell. Police questioned him every day without his lawyer. He later left Japan in a large box, which was big news everywhere. His case was not unusual. It was a rare public look into Japan's daily justice system. This makes us ask an important question. How did Japan, a modern democracy, create a justice system that seems to think people are guilty first? What is the true price for Japan's very peaceful society? 2. A bad system. In many countries, like the United States or the United Kingdom, police can hold a person for only a short time, usually 24 to 48 hours. After this time, they must either charge the person with a crime or let them go. Japan's system is very different. Police can keep a person for much longer. When someone is arrested in Japan, they can be held for up to 23 days without formal charges. First, police can hold a suspect for 10 days. Then, prosecutors can ask a judge for 2 more extensions, each lasting 10 days. This means a person can be held for a total of 23 days before any official charges are filed. Judges almost always agree to these extensions. During these days, the suspect stays in a police station cell. They do not go to a proper jail. They can be questioned for up to 8 hours every day. Often, their lawyer is not allowed to be there during these questioning sessions. The main goal of these long interrogations is to get a confession from the suspect. Police can also use a trick called the rearrest loophole. This allows them to hold a person for even longer than 23 days. If the 23-day period ends and the person has not confessed, prosecutors can arrest them again for a new but related charge. For example, if someone is suspected of stealing money on different days, the police might arrest them for one date, then rearrest them for another date. Each new arrest restarts the 23-day clock. This means a person can be held for months or even longer by being repeatedly arrested for parts of the same case. The interrogations themselves are very difficult. Suspects are questioned for many hours in rooms with no windows. Often, several police officers question the person, taking turns. Suspects are not allowed to lie down and must sit up straight for long periods. They are also woken up early each morning for more questioning, even if their interrogations went late into the night. Police may shout at suspects or threaten to arrest their family members if they do not confess. They might also promise to be nicer if the person talks. Lawyers are usually not allowed to be present during these interrogations. A person can meet their lawyer only outside of these sessions, and these meetings can be limited or watched by police. This system puts a lot of pressure on people. Even if someone is innocent, it can seem like the best choice to confess to a crime. If they confess, they might be released sooner or get a lighter sentence, like a suspended prison term. But if they continue to say they are innocent, they could stay in detention for many more months or even years. This long time in harsh conditions can make anyone want to confess, just to be free. A musician named Yusuke Doi spent 10 months in detention after being accused of stealing a small amount of money. He was innocent and later found not guilty, but his long detention caused him to lose his music contract and career. For many, confessing seems like the only way out of the black box of detention. 3. How it started. Japan's modern legal system began in the 19th century. After the Meiji Restoration in 1868, Japan wanted to quickly become a strong, modern country. To do this, it looked at the legal systems in Europe. Japan copied many ideas from countries like Germany and France. This meant the system was inquisitional. In this system, judges and prosecutors have a very active role in finding facts and investigating crimes, rather than just listening to arguments from two sides. This choice shaped how justice worked in Japan for many years to come. Before World War II, Japan became a police state. A law called the Peace Preservation Law from 1925 gave police too much power. They could arrest and hold people for thought crimes, which meant having bad political ideas against the government. Police could keep people for a very long time just for investigation, not after a formal crime. Often, they used force or cruel methods to make people confess. This system made the police and the government very powerful. Their main goal was to protect the state, not the rights of individual people. After World War II, American forces came to Japan. They worked to change Japan into a modern democracy. In 1946, Japan wrote a new constitution. This new law had strong rules for human rights. For example, it said that a person is innocent until proven guilty. It gave people the right to stay silent during questioning. It also said people had the right to a lawyer. Importantly, it stated that confessions made by force, torture, or after very long detention could not be used as evidence in court. However, these new laws did not fully change the old ways of the system. There were several reasons for this. First, the police and prosecutors did not want to lose their power. They had worked in the old system for many years and liked the way it was. Second, American ideas about individual rights were different from Japanese culture, which often values group harmony and order more than personal rights. Third, as the Cold War began, America started to focus more on keeping Japan stable rather than fully changing its old ways. Finally, the same police officers, prosecutors, and judges who worked before the war kept their jobs. They held on to their old ideas and methods. So the new laws looked good on paper, but the way things worked in real life did not change much. The system continued to operate with many old, powerful methods, not fully like a new democratic one. 4. A different culture.
The way a country's justice system works is deeply connected to its culture. In Japan, some important cultural ideas help explain why the hostage justice system continues, even with its tough methods. One key idea is face, or menboku. This is more than just reputation. It means a person's professional ability and social standing. For prosecutors, police, and judges, losing face is a very serious matter. It can even ruin their careers. If a court says someone is not guilty, it means the prosecutor was wrong to bring charges. It means the police did a flawed investigation. In a culture where professional excellence is highly valued, admitting such a public failure is nearly impossible. This is why officials will often fight very hard to win a case, even if the evidence against a person is weak. For example, in the well-known case of Iwao Hakamada, who spent many years on death row, prosecutors continued to fight his appeals for decades. It was extremely hard for them to admit the system had made a grave error and had almost executed an innocent man. Another important idea is wa, which means social harmony. In Japanese culture, people try to avoid direct arguments and public disagreements. This preference for peace and avoiding conflict strongly affects the courtroom. Judges, who are supposed to be fair and neutral, often see their job as keeping harmony rather than strongly testing the prosecution's evidence. Cross-examination is often gentle. Judges and prosecutors frequently work closely together and share similar professional backgrounds. Many judges were once prosecutors. This close relationship makes it less likely for judges to challenge prosecutors in a way that would make them lose face. Defense lawyers also work within this culture, which means they might feel less able to challenge the prosecution very aggressively. Japanese people also have great trust in their public services and government bodies. Police, prosecutors, and courts are seen as important parts of society, showing wisdom and moral authority. This strong belief in their institutions means that if these officials decide someone is a suspect, many people believe there must be good reasons. This trust has deep historical roots, coming from older traditions that respected hierarchy and competent leaders. Because of this, when someone is arrested in Japan, news reports often simply call them the suspect, which suggests they are probably guilty, even before a trial. Because of these cultural views, Japan does not have a strong culture around individual rights, like those found in countries that had democratic revolutions. The democratic reforms that came after World War II were given from the top down, not demanded by the people. So ideas like being innocent until proven guilty or the right to a strong defense never fully became common beliefs. Japanese society often values social order and the safety of the group more than the rights of one person. Many people believe it is better to have a very safe society, even if some individuals are treated harshly by the system. The idea of letting guilty people go free to save one innocent person is not a widely accepted belief in Japan. 5. Sad stories. Japan's justice system creates sad stories for many people. One of the most famous is about Iwao Hakamada. In 1966, police arrested him for murder. He was a former boxer. After 20 days of questioning, he confessed to the crimes. He was innocent, but the long, hard interrogations made him confess. The evidence against him was weak. Even the judge who first found him guilty later felt he was innocent. Mr. Hakamada spent 48 years in prison, on death row. He lived in a small cell, always fearing it was his last day. This long time in prison badly affected his mind. When he was finally set free in 2014, he was 88 years old and could not understand what was real. In 2024, he was officially declared innocent, but his life was already gone. People arrested in Japan often stay in police station cells. These are not like normal prisons. They are under the control of the police who question them. Conditions can be very hard. Lights are on all day and night, making it difficult to sleep. People must sit up and cannot lie down for many hours. Food is simple and talking is limited. These harsh conditions are often used to make people confess. For example, one person named Kayo was held for a year in a cold cell. She was not allowed to speak to anyone except her lawyer, and she worried she was losing her voice. The system also puts a lot of pressure on the families of suspects. Police might threaten to arrest family members or search their homes if the suspect does not confess. They can use the social shame of arrest to get what they want. For example, a businessman named Yamada was arrested for tax problems. Police showed him pictures of his teenage daughter going to school. They said his case would make her ashamed, and might stop her from going to university. In Japan, being arrested brings great shame to a family. This can ruin jobs, marriages, and friendships, even if a person is found innocent later. This strong social pressure often makes people confess quickly, just to protect their families. Defense lawyers in Japan face many problems. They cannot be with their clients during interrogations. They get to see the evidence from prosecutors only a few days before a trial. Prosecutors often do not share all the evidence, especially if it helps the defense. Lawyers say it is very hard to help their clients in this system. Sometimes a lawyer might even tell an innocent client to confess. This is because fighting the case can mean months or years in prison with no guarantee of freedom. It is very hard for defense lawyers to work for justice in such a system. 6. Safe but not fair. Japan is known as one of the safest countries in the world. People there feel very secure. You can see smartphones left on tables in restaurants, and they often stay there for hours. Children walk to school alone, even very young ones. There is little worry about violent crime. Japan has a very low number of murders, much lower than many other countries. This strong feeling of safety is a big part of Japanese life. People can often leave their bicycles unlocked, and they carry cash without fear. This safe feeling comes from a system that keeps social order very high. However, this great safety has a cost. Many international groups say that Japan's justice system causes human rights problems. For example, the United Nations Human Rights Committee has often said that Japan's ways of holding people are not good. The UN Working Group on Arbitrary Detention has also found problems. Human Rights Watch has reported on how suspects are treated, saying some practices are unfair. These groups point to the very high conviction rate, which is 99.8%. They say this high number suggests that people are often pushed to confess, even if they are not guilty. The way the system works is not what many people expect in a modern democracy. In many democracies, a person is thought to be innocent until proven guilty. But in Japan, once someone is arrested, they are often treated as if they are already guilty. It is very hard for them to prove their innocence. Prosecutors have a lot of power, and there are not enough checks on this power. This means the judges rarely challenge the things prosecutors say or do. Also, the system might not treat everyone equally. People who have more money can sometimes get better lawyers and maybe better treatment. High-profile cases, like that of Carlos Ghosn, get a lot of attention, but most cases are not public. Other democratic countries, like Germany or South Korea, also have safe societies, but they have different justice systems that give more rights to people who are arrested. They show that a country can be safe and also fair to its citizens. The question remains if Japan can have both. 7. A time for change. Many people in Japan now believe it is time for change.
A growing number of lawyers, university professors, and even some politicians want to improve the justice system. They see that the current way of doing things cannot continue forever. Important lawyer groups like the Japan Federation of Bar Associations have asked for big reforms. More than 350 members of parliament from different political groups are working together. They want new laws to help people who are wrongly accused. The case of Carlos Ghosn made many people around the world and inside Japan talk about the system. Mr. Ghosn's arrest and long detention brought attention to how suspects are treated. This discussion helped more Japanese people understand the problems of hostage justice. They started to ask if the system was truly fair for everyone. Some small changes have already started. Now, police sometimes record their talks with suspects. Also, prosecutors must show more evidence to the defense lawyers. These changes are not huge, and many people say they are not enough. But they are important steps. They show that the old system, which seemed unbreakable, is slowly starting to change. Younger Japanese people are also thinking differently. They learn about justice systems in other countries through school and media. When famous cases show that innocent people were kept in prison for many years, like the Hakamada case, it makes people feel sympathy for those accused. It also makes them question if the system is always right. There is a new hope that Japan can have a safe country and also a fair justice system for all its people. 8. The last word. Japan is known worldwide as a very safe country. You can leave your smartphone on a restaurant table, and it will likely stay there. Children walk alone to school without fear.
This strong feeling of safety comes from a big focus on social order and group responsibility. But this peace has a significant cost for the rights of individuals. The criminal justice system, which some call hostage justice, helps keep crime rates very low. However, it often puts extreme pressure on suspects to confess. This system creates order, but it also deeply harms innocent lives. People can be held for many weeks or months without bail or a formal charge. They are questioned every day for long hours, often without a lawyer present. This intense pressure means that even innocent people sometimes confess to crimes they did not do. They do this simply because they want to be released from the difficult conditions of detention. The system has a very high conviction rate, over 99%. Showing how hard it is for people to prove their innocence once arrested. International human rights groups have repeatedly criticized Japan's system. They say it has serious problems with basic human rights. They argue that a person's rights are not fully protected during police investigations and detentions. This situation makes many people ask a big question. Can a country be truly safe and also truly fair?
Other advanced countries also have low crime rates, but they offer more protection for individual rights and fair legal processes. Japan now stands at a crossroads. It can choose to continue with its current system, which prioritizes social order above all else. Or it can choose to make important changes to better protect individual freedoms and ensure justice for everyone. Many people inside Japan, including legal experts, professors, and some politicians, are calling for reforms. High-profile cases, like that of Carlos Ghosn, have made more people talk about these problems. Some small changes, such as recording parts of police interrogations, have already begun. The future of Japan's criminal justice system is very important. The choices made will show what kind of society Japan wants to be in the years to come. Can it find a way to be both incredibly safe and fully respectful of human rights at the same time? What do you think about this? Is it possible for a country to have very low crime rates while also fully protecting the rights of every person, even those accused of crimes?
Hey there! Just a second before you go. If you learned something new today, please give this video a like, write your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe to the channel. It only takes a second, and it really, really helps to create even better English videos for you. Your support means the world. Thank you.